All right, last thing I want to get into. It seems like Manny Pacquiao is coming back in January. That is where all the reporting is pointing at that moment. People I've talked to within Team Pacquiao say January. That is the month that he's going to make his return. No word yet, though, on his opponent. For a while, and maybe I still believe, Rolly Romero has been the front runner, but Rolly may have to deal with this WBA ordering the title defense against Shakram Giasov. Rolly also has shown no interest in boxing as of late, kind of going through his own little spiritual journey right now. So that's potentially off the table for Manny Pacquiao. We'll see in the next couple of weeks. But Sergio, we're in mid-October now. This is right around the time where you would see a January fight announced, especially one that's probably going to be on pay-per-view, like Manny Pacquiao. Who do you want to see Pacquiao fight if he comes back?
I don't want to see Pacquiao fight anymore. I hate to say it, man. I mean, 47 years old. Yes, he shows flashes of the old great, but I mean, just like we were talking about earlier with Paulie Malignaggi, why are you still fighting? You're a first ballot Hall of Famer. You're one of the greatest fighters in history of boxing. Manny Pacquiao should be doing so many other things outside of boxing. He's going to end up slowly but surely ruining his great legacy, just like every other great before him. They just continue fighting until they're getting beaten down by guys that aren't supposed to beat them. So to answer your question, if I want to see him, the most calculated risk that makes the most sense has to be Rolly Romero, because Romero has a championship, so you're not losing to a scrub. Rolly Romero is hittable. He's been knocked out before. And Pacquiao still carries a little bit of speed and explosiveness and power. And that's the only fight that makes sense to me. I don't want to see him against Devin Haney and the winner of him and Norman Jr. or any other. No, man, that's just way too much. I do not want to see the great Manny Pacquiao ruin and tarnish his legacy, continuing to fight these young guys when he doesn't need to, man. He does not need to. So Romero or bust. If you can't get Rolly Romero in January, call it a career, Manny Pacquiao, man. Please call it a career. And I hope a lot of people in his team, his management, his promoter, they tell him the same. What are we doing here? You have nothing else to prove. You have nothing else to gain. You have so much to lose now. So Romero's the only one that makes sense. Other than that, call it a career, call it a day.
Well, I wouldn't count on his team telling him that, since they haven't told him that to this point. They haven't said that. They were perfectly willing to send him in there against Mario Barrios this past summer. And look, he surprised a lot of people, myself included, with how competitive he was in that fight. I'm actually a little bit surprised, for being honest, that we haven't heard about a Barrios fight being rescheduled, being set up again. That fight was a draw. It was competitive. It wasn't especially entertaining, but I'm surprised they haven't tried to go back down that path with Mario Barrios. I agree with you on Rolly. He makes the most sense. When Rolly is kind of at his performative best, he can sell a fight. I'm not sure if he's that guy anymore, but he's been known to sell a fight in the past. He's got that WBA strap. It makes a lot of sense for Manny Pacquiao to try to break that record of becoming the oldest title holder in boxing. If that's not available, though, about Ryan Garcia.
I was gonna say that too, Mannix, but then I got a better one, because Ryan Garcia.
Can I? It's my turn now. I wasn't.
I'll let you finish.
That was a rhetorical question for you, Sergio. What about Ryan Garcia? Ryan Garcia is just kind of out there looking for a big fight, and we know that Golden Boy is having a tough time with his financial demands. He has wanted a lot of money to come back into the ring. Well, you can solve a couple of problems if you're Golden Boy with a Manny Pacquiao fight. You can solve the problem of getting Ryan paid. Now, maybe it's not going to be the $20 million payday he's been hoping for, but it's mid-7 figures with the potential to get 8 figures if it's promoted right. That might be a chance for Ryan Garcia to get a lot of money against the biggest name he would face up until that point. And if you're Ryan Garcia, that's an opponent you should be able to knock out. Really, you should. Manny Pacquiao's been knocked out before. Manny Pacquiao is not as fast or as explosive as he used to be. Manny Pacquiao, the shots that Mario Barrios hit him with, if someone with any real power hit him, that fight might have gone a little bit differently. But Mario Barrios does not have power at 147 pounds. Ryan Garcia still does. And when he's right, he can be a powerful guy. And from the flip side of it, Ryan's also shown that he can be outboxed by the likes of Rolly Romero. So, I think for both these guys, There's certainly risk to it, especially for Pacquiao, because you don't want to wind up like, in a Marquez type situation where you're face planted on the ground. That's how your boxing career ends. But if you're looking for a high risk, high reward opponent, I know there's no belt on the line, but that to me would be a really interesting fight between two guys at different stages of their careers.
No, look, name-wise, popularity-wise, and bank account-wise, yes, it makes all the sense in the world. But I don't like it because if Pacquiao gets knocked out by Ryan Garcia, pretty much he's getting knocked out by a non-champion, a guy that takes boxing part-time serious. We don't know when he's on or where he's off, and a guy that's been knocked out and he's coming off a loss. So it's just not a good look in the momentum side of things, in the promotional side of things. You can't fool fans, man. You cannot fool fans. Even the hardcore Ryan Garcia fans are like, yeah, we don't have the same Ryan Garcia. They're giving up on him as a boxer, because he's already let you down with Tank. He let you down with Romero. Romero was a letdown, man. He should have knocked out Romero, and then he could have been back. Then he could have been hot commodity again. But he lost to Rolly Romero. Doesn't make sense to me. So while you were talking, Mannix, I got a better idea. It covers all the bases of greatness for Manny Pacquiao. He wins. He becomes something greater than he is. And if he loses, there's no shame in it. If Tank Davis, the man that knocked out Garcia, can beat and knock out Jake Paul in a sensational fashion, or beat him convincingly, Manny Pacquiao, that fight would sell out. It would be one of the biggest pay-per-views. It could be a little bit circusy, and it could still be relevant to the boxing fans and still have a high level of respect. So I like that fight. If Tank gets away with Jake Paul, which I don't think he does, Manny Pacquiao makes a lot of sense. Two explosive southpaws that you could sell to the boxing public and you can give away to the circus on Netflix or anywhere else.
I can see that. Not only is it a big name that Tank would be looking for because of the payday that comes with it, but he also wouldn't have to squeeze back down to 135. And like Tank should, I don't know what he's going to weigh for a Jake Paul fight, but Tank shouldn't have any problem getting to 147 at this stage of his professional career. So yeah, I think it makes sense. It all depends, like you said, on what happens with this Jake Paul fight. Like, it's not officially a fight. Like, it's not going to be on their boxing record. But if it winds up looking cartoonish and, Jake Paul, if it winds up looking like Jake Paul or Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather, I don't see how Tank bounces back from that. I don't see how he drops down in weight and challenges for a real boxing championship level fight. But I just don't see it. So I get where you're coming from. Name-wise, it would make the most sense. If Tank looks great, let's say Tank stops Jake Paul, then it's huge. It's huge. If Tank does that, I don't think he's going to do that. But if he's able to knock out Jake Paul all of a sudden, you do that in front of like 50 million eyeballs on Netflix, you're in business. You're already one of the biggest pay-per-view draws that's out there, and now you bring something to the table for a Manny Pacquiao fight. All right, Dodgers in the World Series. Don't text me. Don't ask.
Hey, listen,
don't
man,
bother.
I just want to get paid. So look, this time next week, whenever we do our next pod, I hope I get a hit on my bank account with the money that you owe me, or we're gonna have problems, Chris Mannix. We're gonna.
Why is it always me? I'm not paying you. It is not coming out of my pocket. It's your agent too.
Else that handles my money for this podcast. Your pinkies better beware, right? I know a lot of Mexicans that would love to take those pinkies.